Yo, we live. What's happening?
Oh man.
Yeah, no music.
Oh, no music.
Yeah, I took
Oh,
I took the music off because I'm trying to figure out why I keep messing up. So
oh man.
yeah, so I took it off. So I'll try to figure it out next time. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what's going on, bro?
Oh man, I'm cooling, man. I'm cooling.
Mm-hmm.
Just trying to keep my head down and find
Mm-hmm.
find a way, man. Find a tunnel and keep on moving.
That's it, man. I think that is the move, man. For me it just change, man.
Yeah,
Change.
yeah,
It's inevitable. Change is good. Change is, change is change is change. Change is gonna happen, man.
yeah.
So it's what you do through that change, man. You can, uh sit and sulk or you can, push through it, man.
That's
So
true.
yeah, man. So yeah, we're gonna get into it, man. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't been paying attention to too much news over the past few weeks. Or or anything like that. Really just I just been really reading these books here.
You
And reading books.
you're
That's all I've
missing
been
all
doing.
the stuff, bro. You're
What's
missing
that?
all, you're missing all the good stuff, man. Trump falling asleep in court twice.
He
You
fell
know,
asleep before.
yeah, he fell asleep in court twice.
Oh,
You know, the judge had to kind of scold him because he was trying to like bully um on a juror that was getting questioned to be on the juror, so he was trying to basically bully that person, and
hmm
they got scared and said, I just don't want to be have death threats. Um,
oh, wow.
so yeah, that man, this all happened in the last week. You
Oh,
know,
wow. hmm
yeah, where he violated the gag order, like
hmm
literally not even 24 hours. Where he was given the gag order.
Gee,
Um, yeah, yeah, man, and of
expect.
course, Republicans being Republicans,
hmm
you know what I'm saying? Like they are putting out bills that most Americans don't want. Only
Oh yeah.
they want
Of
as,
course.
as a party.
Of
Like,
course, man. Which is crazy because one of the books that I started reading is this book called On Tyranny. You know what I'm saying? And that's really, one of the chapters in here. It says like the belief of in institutions. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Um, and that you have to be able to you got to want to protect an institution. 'Cause if you don't protect the institution, then you will allow tyranny or a tyrant to come in. You know what I'm saying? Or you know what I'm saying? And there's this one quote it has in here about remember professional ethics. When political leaders set a negative example, professional commitments to just practice become more important. It is hard to subvert a rule of law state without lawyers or to hold show trials without judges. Authoritarians need obedient civil servants, and concentration camp directors seek businessmen interested in cheap labor. Like
yeah,
that's really what it is, man. Like it is like you know um, you need political leaders to set positive examples. You know
mhm,
what I'm saying? And without subverting, you know, the rule of law. I mean, people are upset about, when they talking about Trump and Trump trying to overthrow an election. We all heard the call to Georgia
right, right,
talking about find me 11,000 votes. Like we all heard this, like, you know what I'm saying? But again, when it comes to tyranny, what the Republican Party want people to do is like, oh no, just turn a blind eye. That really wasn't what you saw. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? And the
yeah,
great thing about this book, it shows like examples of like modern day examples of Nazi Germany and stuff like that. And, so it's pretty good, man.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That's what the new version of the Republican Party is way more dangerous
Oh no,
than
they are.
probably any other time in American history.
No,
Um,
that they are.
yeah, because when you look at like Mike Johnson, like The day before they took a vote on the border, he's on the phone with Trump.
Mm,
And that right there is subverting the power of the people to literally one person.
yeah.
That means like everybody that voted for Mike Johnson to come represent them got
Mhm.
watered down to one person overruling everything that they believe if they believe in protecting the border.
Yeah, because it's not about protecting the border. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Number one, people need to understand this. It is about Trump being able to pardon himself
Yes.
if he gets, that's really what it's about. um, because there is no precedent for that. So Trump would set a precedent. The
Mhm,
Supreme Court is already set up for that precedent to be, you know, set
mhm,
for again a tyrant, for an authoritarian to pardon himself when he's committed a crime or committed an act that we can see as criminal. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Um, and in this book, man, it talks about, it says something about do not obey in advance. Most of the power of authoritarians is given up freely. So people will freely give up their power, you know what
yeah,
I mean, to authoritarians without asking for anything else. Well, that's because you can other people, you know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah,
And that is why you saying that, I agree, like this version of the Republican Party um, is a neo-fascist party right now.
mhm,
That's
mhm,
what it is. Anybody who calls the Republican Party a neo-fascist party, it is correct because
yeah,
you have history that tells you what fascism is and what fascism looks like. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying?
mhm,
And what it is. And you're seeing it across states where you have
mhm,
states that are using the government to create, laws for things that aren't, you know, uh, uh, um, that aren't a problem. They create CRT laws
yeah,
or the don't say woke or the stop woke act in Florida or the
yeah,
don't say gay bill or
yeah.
you know what I'm saying. Uh,
The Stop Illegal from Voting Act or whatever they
yeah,
were calling it, where illegals can't vote and won't vote because they don't wanna go to jail
they don't want to go
and
to
get
jail.
deported.
They know they can't vote,
Yes.
so you're creating a law that does nothing.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, this version of the Republican Party likes big government, and they like big government because big government can, uh, uh, they can weaponize big government against people who they don't like. You know what I'm saying? Like they do in Texas,
Mhm,
Mississippi, like in
mhm.
you take
Alabama.
what's happening in Mississippi. They use the
Mhm,
government to implement to put Jackson, Mississippi is now oversaw by like the judges, basically. You know what I
mhm.
mean? It's like, oh, it really is a police state. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They don't do it to no other city but Jackson. You know what I'm saying? The resources that don't go to Jackson, that the mayor had to go to the federal government to get in order to repair pipes, I believe, or
Mhm,
something else in Jackson, Mississippi, and then the governor gets upset with Jackson. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
And it takes away the funding. Um, you know, again, Tennessee State getting rid of the board, right? The problem
Mhm.
isn't the board. The problem is that Tennessee State don't have the billions of dollars you know, in order to so that who's ever on the board can make correct decisions
Uh,
for
c
those students
can I put out a correction?
there.
No, they had the money, they kept it.
Mhm. No, what I mean is that, they're owed, billions of dollars
Ye
because of
Yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They're owed
So
billions of dollars.
so Tennessee, and a Congress member, from Tennessee was explaining this. So they
Mhm,
had the money through COVID.
mhm,
They had the money, but what they
mhm.
did was took the money that was owed to HBCUs and then subverted it somewhere else.
To Tennessee, to the University of Tennessee.
Yes.
So they did. They sent it to Tennessee. but with the Tennessee state is considered a public college
Mhm,
through the act of 1878, somewhere around there.
mhm,
1870, 1880, there's an act. Basically, it creates because of it happens shortly after Plessy v. Ferguson, which creates separate but equal. So what happens is a lot of HBCUs are created. So they create white colleges and they create black colleges, and in that act, it says that these colleges are to be funded, state funded colleges or whatnot. So there's funds that's supposed to go through. Well, of course, Jim Crow, because America's a racist country. The funds that went to the HBCUs don't get as much funding as the PWIs. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of the HBCUs are like, hey, we're not owed millions of dollars. We're owed billions
yeah,
of dollars. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so that is the crux of the issue. You know what I'm saying? It's
mhm,
the money that's owed and the money that gets taken
mhm,
away. It's again when people talk about quote unquote black neighborhoods, you know what I mean, and the decay in black neighborhoods. Well, it's not the black people there. It is what's taken from that neighborhood. It's
mhm,
the resources, it's the economics, it's the time. When all of that is taken, then hope gets taken away. You
mhm.
know what I'm saying? And then you're left with what you're left with, you know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing at Tennessee State. People
Y
are each time you remove a board, that's not the issue.
yeah,
You removed
yeah.
them in 2018 and you still had whatever issues or problems, and that's not the problem. The problem is money, resources.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'll go one step further, man. Whenever you have these kind of events or things that happen that remove any kind of wealth
Mhm,
from minority communities or so forth through school grant fundings or federal fundings or even state funding
mhm,
to those individuals that you know are white or perceive white or think that they are white.
mhm,
They say statements of I didn't own any slaves or I didn't participate in that. What you are, you just didn't own those slaves, but you are still participating in the system
mhm,
of white supremacy in the manner of taking advantage or taking from another group
mhm.
because you say nothing basically.
Right, 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 and that's what it man, again, this book right here, that's what it
Yeah.
talks about. It talks about people saying nothing, right? Like, you're still complicit. So, like, yeah, there are people in Germany who were like, "Hey, look, I didn't kill no Jews. I didn't kill
Mhm.
Jewish people. I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't." But you were silent,
Yeah.
right? You were silent. You didn't do anything when you saw your neighbor or you know what I'm saying? Or people you knew get dragged out of their homes and they ain't never come back, and you knew what was going to happen to them, and you were
Mhm.
quiet. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, that is why this version of the Republican Party is dangerous because you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of people. Let's take January 6th. For
Mhm.
instance, right when January 6th happened, you know what I'm saying. There's a lot of people who was like, "Oh, I didn't go to January 6th, but yeah, but you supported it silently, right?
Yeah.
You didn't come out and you ain't say anything, you ain't speak anything up about it." I think I made a Facebook post about like, look, if you voted for this man, this is on you. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because again, it is like this
Yeah.
is on you. Oh, well, I wasn't there, but this is still on you. This is
Yeah.
on you. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, it's and I like this book on tyranny talks about the people who supported Hitler, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
But then
Mhm.
later, like, they're like, "I didn't know the guy was gonna do that." Like, "No, you
Right.
knew."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you like,
Yeah.
yeah, you probably didn't know it was gonna be as brutal, but you knew. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And and
yes.
and we and at this point in time, like, we got, like, thousands of years of, like, written history
That's
that
what I'm saying.
that
Yeah,
that tells you a behavior will lead to something, you know what I'm
right, right.
saying? Whether negative or positive, and it's just like, yeah, at this point in time, like, man, you can clearly see if you vote for Trump, like this ain't gonna be good.
It's not gonna be good. No, no,
Like
that's yeah, that's what's
the
crazy.
guy just don't have any self-control.
Yeah,
Like,
nah,
you can find a person that you could just disagree on a policy with, right?
yeah,
Like, I if I ever met Mike Johnson, I'm pretty sure that we can disagree on a policy, right?
mhm, mhm.
But I'd rather speak with Michael Steele.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
because I know that he will be there. He's the kind of Republican that will be arguing in good faith,
Right, right.
right?
He'll have a policy argument,
Ye
uh,
yes.
versus, ideological argument.
Y
Yeah.
yes.
Mm, mhm,
Yes.
mhm.
And people got man, like, you can see it, and we're just repeating the same history over.
Yeah. Yeah, 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 man. Yeah, we are repeating it, and that's what this book talks about. Like, that's again this book right here on tyranny. That's what it talks about. How not too thick, 120 something pages. Not too
Oh,
bad.
a quick
Yeah,
read.
yeah, yeah. Quick read, it's like 115, 129 pages, 26 pages. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. But yeah, yeah. That's what this book talks about, man. Ideology. Versus
Mhm.
you can't have a conversation with people who are ideologues, man. You know what I'm saying? Because they just believe in one way, and that's what the Republican Party has turned into. They're no longer concerned about policy anymore.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
ideologues, right? They are obsessed with a America that no longer exists, but is changing. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So a lot of their conversations are culture war issues.
Yes.
Culture war issues. Culture is culture, culture, culture. Anti-LGBTQ, anti-black,
Mhm.
anti-immigrant. Now they attack people because the government did what the government was supposed to do. The government recognized that student loans is holding people back from actually participating in the economy and or having children. So the government was like, all right, we'll forgive you student loans. You're upset about that. You weren't
Mhm.
upset about the PPP loans when you were getting them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you and so they try to make people, well, what about Biden's age? You know what I'm saying? It becomes the conversations becomes less about policy because at the end of the day, you can't have a policy argument because Republican Party has spent the last 30, almost 40 years having culture war arguments
Mhm.
because of changing demographics and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And so they can't have a policy argument because if they were to have a policy argument, they would lose their voters
Yeah.
because a lot of their voters come from rural areas. Another great book I've been immersed in is White Rural Rage, and a lot
Mhm.
of their voters come from white rural areas where they are seeing economic divestment, brain drain, meaning
Mhm.
that a lot of these rural areas, when their children graduate high school, they leave, they don't come back.
Mm.
So what happens to that town? It gets older and it gets older and it dies. You know what I'm saying? And so they're seeing all these things happen, factories opening up in their areas, closing in their areas, but who they blaming that on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton rightfully told people, hey, them coal jobs ain't coming back. Ain't
Mhm.
coming back because the technology, that's what
Right.
took people's jobs. The technology took people's jobs. It wasn't something that,
Yeah, it wasn't
Obama.
Obama.
Right, it wasn't Obama, but that's what they got told. They got
Mhm.
told it was Obama. Just like right now, they're talking about Biden's inflation. That's not the problem. The
Yeah.
problem is greed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's the grocery store that they are choosing to charge you $5 for eggs because they know you're gonna pay for it, and
Man,
you're gonna
I
blame the
just
price.
told the lady that because I'm looking for a motorcycle,
Mhm,
and she's she sent me this motorcycle, and it was a 2010 or whatever,
Mhm.
had the dual pipes on the side, and I was just like, "Ah, man, that bike is giving me a vibe of like, hey, grandpa vibe," and I'm like, yeah, I'm not feeling it, right? So,
Yeah.
and I was like, and on top of that, like, I know that motorcycle prices are a little inflated right now.
Mhm.
Um, so "Oh, no, they're not. They're not." I'm like, "I just bought a motorcycle 2 years ago."
Yeah.
And literally that same motorcycle is 2 to $3,000 more,
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
and it
Man,
has more mileage.
yeah, no, no, no. And that's inflation.
Now,
Yeah, no.
I'm just like, I know for a fact that y'all paying, you're paying more at the auctions,
Mhm, mhm.
but
Yeah,
you
exactly.
like, the dealers haven't asked, "Well, why the hell am I paying more at the auction?" Because y'all have no cost. Y'all
Yeah.
y'all really don't have a cost.
Mhm. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
the auctioneers started getting richer.
because 'cause they're getting greedy.
Yes.
It's the same thing that happened with used cars.
Yes.
When we're looking for used cars for our children, like, there was no point in buying a used car. Like, for I remember we went to the dealer. I'm looking at this car. It cost 16, it was like 16,000 or something like
Mhm.
that. The brand new car was 21. So I'm like, and the dude, of course, he trying to sell a used car. I'm like, "Why would I buy the used car?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Just pay the extra 5,000 for the brand new one." "Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, but this blah, 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 blah." I said, "Hey, sir, I I understand the economics." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
the payments are only gonna go up by, like, $50 on this car.
Right,
I
right. A
I
and
get
I get a more favorable rate.
That's what I'm saying. I get a better rate with this one, with the new one versus the
Yeah.
old one. Like, man, nah, this dude was trying to sell. I'm like, man, it ain't no, yeah, man, because like you saying, what happened was Carvana was bought up all that, like the housing inventory, right? That reminds me.
Mhm.
I'm gonna say this about Carvana, and I'm gonna move up to the housing industry, and something that these folks are not talking about that happened under Trump,
Mm,
which caused a lot of the inventory to go away. But the like Carvana bought a lot of the used car inventory. You know what I'm saying? So that's what spiked up all the prices. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? People think it was COVID, but it was Carvana. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So Carvana was spiking up the prices. But one of the things I noticed, I was reading something about opportunity zones. I think one of the books I was reading was talking about opportunity zones. So I went do a little digging. When the opportunity zones, what happened under Trump was those folks, basically, it did not help the black communities. There is no
Mhm,
data. There's no data. That's why they stopped talking about it. They
mhm.
stopped talking about it 2 years later. They won't even mention it now as something that they did, Republicans did, right? And that's because it gave a lot of the big real estate investors more money because they were able to get tax breaks.
Mhm.
What happened was whenever they opened an opportunity zone, if it was next to an older person's home, and that's what happened, particularly in the South, it caused that person who's paying a mortgage and on a fixed income it caused their taxes to go up.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so it caused their taxes to go up, so they had to end up selling the house. You know what I'm saying? So then, guess who comes in and buy that house? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Yeah, yeah, like the
And
opportunities.
that's why they were okay with paying 30, $40,000 over asking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Because they had the capital because of the not only because of the Trump tax cuts, but
Mhm.
because of opportunity zones. The opportunity zones allowed, gave them an abundance of money. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? They took that money. There's that this is when the air people remember, this is when the Airbnbs was going out.
Mhm.
Airbnb started charging,
Mhm.
basically rent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All the inventory started being bought, during the pandemic, you know what I'm saying, and
Mhm.
everything like that. Like, it's straight because of that policy. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Shoot, I did my taxes and I was like, golly. And
Yeah.
yeah, the lady, she was that did my tax, like, yeah, that tax code in twenty
Yeah.
seventeen is hitting folk this year.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, man. all them people. I was just telling somebody when they were just talking about their taxes and they were upset, right? And I
Mm,
said, well, Trump's tax plan is in effect this year. The increase is in effect this year,
it's in effect
and
this year.
it
Yep.
whatever you do this year in election 2025, when it shows up, you really gonna be crying.
Gonna be crying
If
because this was
if
the year. Yep.
yes, if Republicans get back in power 2025, if you're crying about your taxes this year, wait until 2025.
Bro, hurt.
That
Yeah.
increase is gonna hit you so bad. And if you think you didn't get no money this year,
Oh,
mm,
man. Oh, man, I seen that. I was like, "Man, this the first year I gotta pay taxes." I was like, "Ooh," I was like, "Man," I was like, "Yo," I went right next door to
yeah,
Sally. I went right next door, to, I'm sorry, the Dollar Tree, man. I was gonna buy me a pair of pantyhose, man.
yeah.
To pay these taxes. Put it right in the trunk. This is dead president stuff.
Man, well,
Man. Well,
I
I'm
see
like,
I seen the line down Atlanta outside of the
"Oh, yeah,
IRS.
outside the IRS, man, 'cause the IRS, like, you don't show up, you're gonna have to pay." Listen,
Yeah,
man. Listen, man.
yeah,
Try to
man.
tell people, look, man, and that's my new thing, that I said last time, you know what I mean? Like, politics is life or death, man. It
Yeah,
is life or death, you know what I'm saying? It really is because at the end of the day, when I'm sitting there, I'm like, God dang, I'm like, all right, man. So what's my strategy here? Is my
mm,
strategy to save up money so I can pay taxes? Or
mm,
do I or do I or do I contribute more? But that means I'm have less in my bank account.
mhm, mhm.
All because of that 2017
The
tax
s
cut, bro.
the strategy has to be, again, same thing we try to express to some of our conservative friends, because the Republican Party don't give a rat ass about the working class.
They don't.
Yeah, it's got to get the business.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to get a business, and that
mhm,
business has to operate in losses,
mhm, mm.
which means you're gonna be just a poor business owner.
No, but
Yeah,
that's real though. Like that's the loophole, right? Like
yeah.
everybody has to, you have to get some sort of side,
Mhm,
feature. That's the only way
mhm,
around until they can change. Right now, the reason why it won't change right now because they don't have the numbers in the Senate to change the
mhm,
tax cut
mhm,
like the
mhm.
Republicans had in 2017 and 18.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and so they just don't have the numbers, man. Biden administration tried to do something. I
Mhm.
don't think they were successful in doing it. But but again, yeah, it's just crazy, man. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
it's just strange to see, like, when you hear Republicans be like, "America's going down
Mhm,
a dark path," or, "America's going to hell," like, all of these things, but they never trace back. In
mhm.
the last in the last 40 years, they don't realize we have more Republican presidents and more Republican controlled Senate and the House,
In the house.
and the House. In
Mm,
40 years, the Republicans have controlled most of that history.
mhm.
So if you think it's messed up, it was because of the Republican Party and their laws that they were passing.
Yeah, yeah, or
And
what they want.
then you want the Democrats to get in and to
Mhm.
fix it all in one swoop.
In 4 years. Yeah,
Yeah,
fix it in
yeah,
4 years. Like, what?
yeah, yeah,
What? What? Like, oh, man. I
yeah.
don't yeah. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. And it's crazy when you hear, like, individuals a Stephen Stephen A. Smith. You know what I mean?
It
Try
yeah.
trying to talk about, you know, uh, uh and Stephen A. Smith is a quote unquote, yeah, cons he calls himself an independent.
Mhm.
Stephen A. He's a quote unquote black Republican. You know what I mean? People call themselves independent so they can seem contrarian. You
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
what I'm saying? But again, the things you say, the company you keep, you know what I'm saying, says otherwise. You know what I'm saying? And of course, I had to see what Roland said about him, but of course, he tried to say this thing. Well, black people are going to be voting for the Republican Party, sir. There is no data to suggest. If that was the case, if black people, and again, they keep putting this thing out, black people voting for the Republican Party, they're gonna vote for the Republican Party. Black, listen, there, if that was the case, you would have seen it in 2022.
yeah.
You did not see any that you would have seen it in 2022. You would have seen it in 2020. You would have seen it in 2018. You would have seen it in 2016. So what do you like? You don't see that move. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And again, and people think that black people are, or people really think black people are stupid. Like when it comes to voting, low information, which is crazy. We're the most informed voting block, which is why we vote in the manner in which we vote
You
because
want a
we're not.
milkshake? Want
What's
a
that?
milkshake? You know what I'm saying? Give these people some milkshake.
hmm yeah, yeah. You're talking about the Chick-fil-A thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I'm saying? Like, when you put the pieces together and you
yeah.
see the story play out, bro,
hmm
it's n it's not that they really think that black people are not yes, they do.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, but I'm trying to say because if you see what they do and the tactics that they pull, right?
hmm
You have if you have to go to those lanes, that would really explain how you really think that they're intelligent enough to figure out that you are the op.
hmm
But the problem is, if you notice, most most Republicans' tactic is they don't talk to the professor, right?
Right.
They don't talk to um a religious leader with a college degree.
hmm
And I have to say that because I'm not talking about some guy who just became a pastor
hmm
or who went to a theologian's school and
hmm
that's the only degree that he has.
hmm
I'm talking about actual people that study in college, studied certain courses, and so forth.
hmm
What the Republicans do is they go to people like the Chick-fil-A,
Mhm,
like those places where they know that these people don't have the the fortitude to be able to critically think about what is being said or done in the moment with context of historical behaviors of people.
mhm,
Like
mhm,
they know that, hey, yeah, I'm going to talk to him, but I'm not going to talk to obviously Cornell West. I'm not
mhm,
going to talk to Doctor Pastor Brian.
mhm.
I'm not going to talk to these people because they're a little more educated.
Right, 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 right. Right, right, right. They'll talk to a Stephen A. Smith. They'll talk
Yeah,
to a Charlemagne the God. They'll talk to a Killer Mike. They'll talk to all these folks who are not educated enough or not able to push back on a lot of the things that they say or really they just want to be like I'm gonna be a contrarian, you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
I'm gonna try to sit the fence on it, like Charlemagne tried to do with you know what I'm saying. uh and he was rightly so. Like I seen I did watch some of the Breakfast Club interview with Michael Eric Dyson, and he called him out for it. You know what I'm
mhm,
saying? Like what is the point from being a contrarian? What do you gain from that? There
yeah,
is no there is no gain from it, you know what I mean? And I'll
yeah,
add that, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially somebody like Charlemagne or anybody who is 40 plus years old at your big age, you actually should have like be able to stand on something.
Yeah,
You know what I
some
mean?
convictions.
Right, right. Being a contrarian at 40 is weak. It
Mhm,
really is weak because you're saying that you didn't learn anything over 40 years. You're saying you did not learn nothing. And you not only did you not learn anything, you weren't able to build anything. You
mhm,
dig what I'm saying? So which means building this, you know what I'm saying? Building your mind, building you. You weren't able to build you. You dig
mhm,
what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Being a mason, we learn about Solomon's temple, but Solomon's temple is about building you. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
By the time you get a certain age, you should have a knowledge base. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To go back to there is no questioning. Of course, you know what I mean. As you're learning, you're going to question things.
Mhm,
But yeah, nah, you should have a, a knowledge base where you're like, all right, man, I got to stand on what is it that I'm standing on? You know what I'm saying? What is my thing that I'm sticking up for? You know what I'm saying? For me, it's of course it's the institutions because I believe that the protection of the institutions in America is what is going to help black people. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? Why would
We
I join why would
Yeah.
I join a political party that want to tear that down? That don't even make
Yeah,
any sense.
because you have to have a agreement on how we are going to proceed.
Right, right, right.
You
Right.
have to have that agreement
Mhm. Progress.
because yeah, if we can't if me and you cannot agree and we're trying to get to a solution, right?
Mhm.
Say that we're building a building. We can stand there and argue all day long, but the
Mhm.
building's not being built, right? Or you can be a contrarian and I could be a contrarian, and then there's no ideas, and then we just make a square.
It's
You know what I'm saying? Or we can
just
sit
stand.
back. Yeah, yeah. Or we can sit back and then say, "Hey, okay, this is where I disagree, but this is where I may have questions about what you were thinking, or this is where I may want to see what you were thinking play out in the real world before I come to a decision."
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
This
Yeah.
this is what politics is.
Yeah, 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 man. It is, man. It is a. Yeah, man. It always. I won't say it like fascinating. It makes me sad, really. It do, man. When I see a 40-year-old, somebody who's in their 40s, and they're like, I'm like, dang, bro, you ain't learned nothing. You ain't decide to learn anything. Like nothing, man. Like nothing. Like no. Like you yeah, man. Just yeah, like a 40-year-old with no morals is a dangerous person, man.
Yeah.
A dangerous person, and that's what a lot of these black conservatives are, man. And these black conservative adjacent folks, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm,
Like Charlamagne the God and sometimes a Killer Mike,
mhm,
shaking hands with Brian Kemp.
hmm. Yeah,
This
yeah,
was happening to black folk down there. And now, Killer Mike, you won't be upset about, Cop City. Like, hey, man.
yeah.
Hey, bro. Look, man. Look, bro. I don't know, man. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? These folks who are, and I always say, man, black people with money are some. Got to do Jesse Lee Peterson thing. Some, not all. Some, not all.
Hmm, hmm.
Some of the most dangerous people we have in our ethnic group, man.
Yeah.
They are because they just look at their money. They'll sell you
Mhm.
out for 30 pieces of silver, man. They don't
Yeah.
care. You know what I'm saying? And this is a documented thing. Like W.B. Du Bois talked about it.
Mhm,
E. Frank Frazier wrote a book about it. They even talked about Booker T. Washington. People were eviscerating Booker T. Washington back
mm,
in the day
mhm,
because of his rhetoric, towards other black folk. You know what I'm saying? As he
mhm,
getting money. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah Montgomery. Um, I mean, like you like if you do a deep dive, you see that this existed. You know what I mean,
yeah.
and it exists today. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that there are black folks who call themselves conservative. They know that at the end of the day, they can't be phenotypically white. You know what
Mhm,
I mean? So that leaves them out of certain power and resources. You know what I'm saying? But they can mimic it You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm.
where you get black conservatives always they always respectability, always
Yeah.
talk about respectability. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And making black people seem immoral,
Yeah.
in the things that we participate in and the things like little they'll bring up some little thing, some little minor thing in the black ethnic group.
Mhm.
"Oh, sexy red." And it's like,
Yeah.
"Yo, bro, there are not that many people that are paying attention to sexy red."
And there's not that many black women that are acting like Sexy Red.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's really not. It's so small, but because we live in a social media world,
Mhm.
everything seems bigger. Everything seems like, "Oh, this is actually happening
Mhm.
when I walk out the door." No, it's
Mm. Yeah.
no, it's not.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's
Black
yeah,
conservatives come wag their finger at black people and
yeah.
then go into a black room and then and start shaking hands and smiling.
Mhm. Showing teeth.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, don't call me the C word. Don't call me but words have meanings. It's tied to your actions. Like
Mhm.
the
Yeah, yeah,
things that
yeah.
you're doing really align to that.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's starting to get sad. Like you said, like I don't think it's no other way to like really put it no more. It's just yeah, it's sad. It's
Mhm,
really sad because you know, I was out fishing last weekend, right? Caught
mhm.
my first fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so but I'm up there, so I'm man, I'm up in like Oconee County, you know what I'm saying? Like, whew, Lord have mercy. Like when I last time I was up there, like when I ain't never seen so many Confederate like and I went up there this time and I ain't see as many, right? But I'm on the side of the road, gentlemen. He seen he seen my tag on the front of my truck. You know what I'm saying? That whole don't tread on me and like me saying like, nah, you gotta choke out the snakes because they saying don't tread on me, but yet they treading on everybody else.
Yeah. Facts.
Right.
Mhm.
So so he pulls on the side of the road. He's like, man, I was on the phone with my mom, and I said, man, this guy seemed like he's an interesting guy to speak to. And that was the first thing he said to me when he got out of the truck. And I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, well, it's nice to meet you." So we're looking out over the cliff, um, through the ravine and through this little town and so forth. So he's talking about first he started the conversation with COVID,
Mhm,
and he went to religion and then he went to politics, right?
mhm.
But as we were talking, you know, I am I am giving him historical information. And I told him, "I could be wrong, but
Mhm.
what I want you to do is to at least go Google it and just
Yeah.
look this stuff up."
Look it up.
And he's looking some of the stuff up while
Mm,
we were literally right there, right? He was like, "Man," he said, "I knew you were gonna be an interesting conversation." He was like, And I don't wanna say this because I know, like, um, some people say that like white people shouldn't say this to black people, but you're talking so articulate about it as
mm,
well. And
mhm.
and like he ain't had no teeth in the front and so forth. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
He's
yeah.
he's the typical poster child of
Yeah,
of of who we think is
living in those
um
rural areas, living in those close to the mountains and stuff like that.
Yeah, with the Confederate flag, but, he didn't have a Confederate flag, none of that stuff,
Mm,
but he was just like, you know, I don't like that, you know he talked about racism and so forth. He said, "It is racism, and I finally am starting to admit it."
mm, yeah.
And, like, we really was starting to have a real conversation, and I think, like, with everything that's going on, I think some of these rural people are are starting to see some of the issues that Republicans are doing because Republicans are running their areas.
Mhm. Because they are watching because of they're watching the economics. They're looking, they're like, "Hold up.
Yeah,
We ain't got no Mexicans live here. There's only 3 black people that live here.
yeah,
Where the hospital done closed, the only grocery store we got is a Dollar General. There's no, the minimum wage, $7. My kids is leaving, they ain't coming back.
yeah. So,
Yeah,
so what the black conservatives doing to tie this all in, they're sending the black conservatives out or
yeah.
putting them in front of TV to make up
Mhm.
the numbers of white folk in rural areas that are
That's true.
peeling off.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. That's why they're going hard to try to get some black folk because
You
those
gotta make the numbers up, bro.
you gotta make them up somewhere. Yeah, those numbers gotta come from somewhere. Like, "Oh, man,
Yeah,
we leaving." Yeah, I ain't even dang, bro, I ain't even think about that.
yeah.
Dang, I
Like,
didn't even
man, I'm sitting here listening to a gentleman who wrote the book Exburbia. Um,
Mm,
and he was talking about like all of these things of like what's happening to like real rural towns that
mhm.
are shrinking.
Yes.
What's happening is you're starting to notice that
Talk about
there's other towns. Yeah, but peep this, bro. There's other towns that used to be rural that are popping up and getting larger.
Mhm, mhm,
But within that, these these people that are moving there moved from either the rural area or the urban area to move
mhm,
into a more secluded area.
mm,
And then they go to the urban area or the suburbs because they still live in between rural and suburb
mhm,
to be able to run their business
mm.
or do business in these
Right.
areas. And so they're watching the income rise in these areas.
Mm.
And this is what's happening where yes, they're losing votes in the rural areas.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Not only that, they're losing voters because a lot of them passed away in COVID.
Yes.
So all of these things are starting to collide.
Yeah, and you're right, and you could see it in the gerrymandering, right? Because man, I was telling somebody, that I was basically explaining to him, like, the only reason that the Republicans won the House is because of gerrymandering.
Mhm,
What they did was that they gave land more power than people.
mhm,
So, these folks that live in rural areas, it's not that many of them. But what they did was they made sure that they had more power by splitting up the area just next to it, by bringing in a few more you know of those red votes. You know what I'm saying? While at the same time cutting out the Democrat vote. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Or the blue vote or the blue area. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? Nancy Mace in South Carolina. That's what happened. That's how she won her seat here in South Carolina, and they think she's gonna lose that.
Oh, she
Um,
gonna lose that this year.
yeah, well, they're saying because South Carolina has to redraw the district, so I don't know if they're gonna do it, but um, once they redraw, her thing will go away. And so because of gerrymandering, they gave rural areas more power where less people live and it's more land. And so Trump likes to brag about, oh, I won 2,300 counties or something like that. And Biden only won 800 counties. Well, do the math, right?
Mhm,
Biden won 800 counties. However, he won the popular vote by 3 million people because in those 800 counties, there are more people. It is more populous. It is a bigger population of people. In those smaller rural areas, there's not that many people because, like
mhm,
you're saying, there's been folks that died off, the gerrymandering happened,
mhm,
you know what I'm saying, and people who just simply left those areas. You know what I'm
mhm.
saying? And so, and that's why the Republicans are worried about November coming up
Yeah.
because, again, yeah, again, all these folks, guess where they're moving to? They moved. to all these folks from the north that lived in New York and they moved down south. Folks in Ohio, folks in California who moved
Mhm,
to Texas. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, and Texas and New York still got millions of people. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Um, and so that's what they're worried about. And you're right. And so they're sending out all these black conservatives to do a psyops on black people. You know what I mean? We got to remember psyops already happened on black people in 2016 with Russia meddling in our elections. Crazy because I just read something where Obama got intel about Russia meddling in our elections, right? Mainly creating fake Facebook pages, going at create fake black Facebook pages and stuff
mhm,
like that, trying to get black people not to vote because
mhm,
Vladimir Putin wanted Trump to be elected, right? So Obama goes to Mitch McConnell, was like, "Hey, Mitch, hey, we need to have a joint, statement and talk about this information that we have about Russia,
mhm,
meddling in our elections." Mitch didn't want to put it out there. He didn't want to put it out because he wanted Trump to win. You know what
mhm.
I'm saying? So now what is the Republican Party doing now? Guess who they're supporting now? This is why you're hearing a lot of pro Putin rhetoric
Yeah.
from the Republican Party. You
Mm,
know what I'm saying? Because again, they're expecting the same thing. So America got hit to their Russian psyops, and Russian meddling. So now they have uh, convinced and or interacted with certain
mhm,
groups, certain individuals who are putting out pro-Putin message, which is why the Republican Party today is upset with Johnson, Speaker
mhm,
Johnson, because he supported a bill. He supported the bill to aid Ukraine. He's talking about going against Putin, and so now you have a Marjorie Taylor Greene, who
mhm,
people feel has been compromised by a Russian operative, who's talking about removing him as Speaker.
mhm.
It's crazy,
And
man.
and now majority of the Republican Party is now against Marjorie Taylor Greene, where they're trying to help her lose her seat.
Yeah, yeah, it's
This
crazy.
this
It's
is
crazy.
poetic.
Yeah.
It's so poetic. But to your point, the gun group that I'm in, the 2A group on Facebook, um, they actually had to start booting people off of the group because they started finding out that they were fake pages during the 2016.
Yeah.
Like they will come on and start saying like, Trump rhetoric and so forth. And like, man, I've been on this group for 5, 6 years now.
Mhm.
And now all of a sudden there's no more Trump rhetoric.
Yeah.
They literally just had to start booting people because they
Mhm.
found out that it was fake pages.
Yeah, fake pages. So now what's happening is, so now, people are creating fake identities, you know what I'm saying,
Mhm.
because of AI,
Yeah.
GPT, you know what I'm saying, and things of that nature. So now they're creating fake pages to where, these folks are putting out fake messages and stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? And it is fooling people, boy. It is crazy, man.
Yeah, they
It's
they use, Obama's, was it Obama's vo no, 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 it was, Joe Biden. So,
hmm
Joe Biden, they used the AI with his voice, and it was an, election, I can't remember which state, but,
hmm
um, telling people not to show up and vote for a Democrat, right? And it's just like, yeah, that should have made people think like, yeah, Joe Biden, the president who's in the Democrat Party saying, "Don't go vote for a Democrat." Like,
Yeah.
but
Nah.
like, no,
People.
like this is what's happening. And people don't realize if the Republican Party isn't isn't anti-Russia or they if they are anti misinformation,
hmm
why aren't there groups that are doing the same thing to the Republican Party?
Right. 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 Why is it only going after Yeah.
Yes, it's
Yeah, that's what
primarily attacking one party.
and that's what, people are starting to say about these, pro-Palestinian folks are, you know, like, you're only going after one party. Like, they're
Mhm,
finding Democrats and only going after Democrats.
mhm.
And it's like, "Hold up. There's Republicans that support Israel, like, the main group that supports
Yeah,
Israel that is loud about it.
yeah,
You're not showing up to their events, you ain't showing up to their churches, you're not showing up, you're not burning
right.
yourself in front of their like, you're not doing all these things." So a lot of people are talking about, like, there's like basically, they're paying people, to
Uh,
pose, yeah, to pose as, that's what
how many times we gotta sit back and say, like, this is what the Republicans do? They go pay people to
pay
sit
people.
back and, like,
Yeah, that's just like
oh,
what happened with, Trump and Chick-fil-A. Well, they didn't I don't know if they paid that person, but that black woman that will go and hug Trump,
she got paid.
"We love you." Yeah, no, she got paid. She
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 got paid.
got paid. No, she got paid. She ended up on Fox News. "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, black people, black conservative, they paid those folks in, that Chick-fil-A to show
Mhm,
up. They were part of a Blexit thing. I know
mhm.
Dr. Ritchie, one of his friends is actually a Republican and, brought him on his show, and he didn't wanna talk about it, you know what I'm saying? 'Cause
Yeah,
no, you just you pay folks to come in, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know,
yeah.
and to wear niggas for Trump T-shirts, something like that. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah, because the Republicans, again, they have no policy, so what organic movement can you create not having policies?
Yeah, you can't because you ain't got no policy.
Yeah,
And like Chip Roy said, like, I don't have anything to run on.
yeah,
What am I gonna run on? I don't have nothing. You know what I'm saying? But his district, he's safe. He don't have to have anything to run on. Like,
yeah, but he's
you know,
he's not running. He's not running next year, so
yeah, yeah,
mm,
mm,
so,
you know,
you know
yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm saying? So now we stuck with people like the Marjorie Taylor Greens and so
Mhm,
forth, or the religious,
mhm,
you know, uh, um, or we stuck with them.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Where they wanna implement religion into law.
yeah,
Like,
yeah. Crazy, man. Crazy.
jeez.
People gotta get out and vote, man.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Just quickly here, go over rap beef, you know. Uh, that's what you wanna call it. Um,
The
you
big
know,
3 beef.
yeah, the big 3 beef. Again, man, I think it's all manufactured beef, man. I don't think it's anything, serious, you know what I'm saying? It's like the Jay-Z Nas thing, I thought
Yeah.
it was, like, manufactured then, you know what I'm saying? And I was right. It was manufactured. But like, I'm old school rap beef, man. Old school rap beef where cats had beef. Cats had an issue, you know what I mean? And they're like, "Hey, look, we gonna solve it." You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? This how we gonna solve it on the wax. You know what I'm saying? I'm not into Tupac Biggie beef like that where, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I lose their lives and stuff. You know what I'm saying? It is rap beef where it is strictly lyrical. You know what I'm saying? And old school rap beef, like you had rap beef because you were more than likely gonna see this person.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? When LL is dissing Ice T, well, LL was gonna see Ice T because Ice T hung out in New York all the time.
Mhm.
New York all the time. You know what I'm saying? Same thing. Cannabis and LL beefing. You know what I'm saying? KRS and MC Shan. I mean, they live right there, right next to each
Yeah.
other. You
And
know what
and
I'm saying?
and some of them, like, they had fights and stuff like that, but it was
Mm,
all, like, backstage and that, like, out
mm.
of the public's eye.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
nobody really talked about it after.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that, that's like later in the 90s, like later in the
Mhm.
90s when like a lot of the disses bled over into that stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Um, you know, uh but like today, like when I'm like listening to, J. Cole, well, J. Cole, of course, I applaud J. Cole because, you know what I'm saying, he realized that, you know what I'm saying, hey, I think he realized it was all manufactured.
Mhm.
and, he was stepping into something that was just, for, streams and likes and whatnot, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And he
Uh-huh.
he chose peace over anything, you know what I'm saying? Um, but, J. Cole, Drake, and Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? Uh,
Yeah.
like, I didn't think Kendrick's line was that bad. I was like, I didn't think it was that bad to warrant a response. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I
What
ain't
what, F the big 3?
yeah, yeah. I'm like, "Okay,
It was hard.
yeah, 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 yeah." I mean, like, I'm like,
It was a
"Well,
repeatable line.
oh, yeah, 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 yeah." No, it's most definitely is repeatable, you know what I'm saying? And, that's the thing about, like, this is to me, this is have to be memorable, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like, like, they're like, people talk about, like, cannabis and LL,
Mhm.
this if you ask some people, they'll tell you LL got the best of cannabis.
Mm.
Nobody remembers Rip the Jacker.
Yeah. Yeah.
You remember Second Round Knockout, though.
Yeah, yeah.
Nobody, not unless you are a Jay-Z fan, you don't remember Jay-Z's diss to Nas, but you know what Ether sounds like. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no. Nah, nah. People do know, like, the Jay-Z diss.
No,
I
but I
can
but,
say that.
but what I'm saying is that yeah, people know the Jay-Z diss, but which one is more memorable?
Ether was the more
It's repeated. People,
yeah,
uh,
yeah,
Remy came out with a beat for it. Everybody talks about, hey,
yeah.
when a
I get
meme, when somebody comes out and they do like, and they just dissing somebody just talking like me and you talking, they'll be like, oh man, all this need is the ether beat.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
What
more,
when you think about Beanie Siegel and Jadakiss, you remember Beanie Siegel's,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
You remember
When
Beans?
you remember Beans.
Yeah, you
You
remember
can't
Beans?
tell me what Jada, uh, comeback was.
You can't tell me what it was.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You remember No Vaseline. You cannot tell me what NWA came back with.
yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? You remember, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if you look going down, if you just go down, you remember those things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
mhm,
you know what I'm saying? I mean, even MGK versus Eminem. Most
mhm,
people, God, I know what Rap Devil sounds like. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what Kill Shot like, man. I don't know. No, 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 no. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and people don't want to admit MGK got one up on Eminem. But like, you know what I'm saying?
mhm.
Like to me, like this is just a bunch of millionaires who ain't got nothing to do. Bunch of millionaires, they upset about something petty, you know what I'm saying? And so, everybody is trying to add context to all these things. It's not like Pusha T.
Yeah,
Pusha T did this against Drake.
yeah,
Drake ain't respond to that man.
yeah.
when he
You down there killed him for a whole album. So,
bruh, bro, Pusha T dropped that jaw, man. Drake ain't respond to that man. It's best he did not.
yeah,
It's best he did not. Drake left that man. He's like, hey man, he got it. He got it, man. You know what I'm saying? Or
yeah,
or 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 when Drake this Meek Mill. You
yeah,
remember Meek Mill's this? But you know what back to back sounds like.
yeah, yeah,
Going
yeah,
back.
yeah,
You know what that y'all sound like.
yeah. It's
You know what I'm saying? Which one is more
world
yeah.
tour or your girl tour.
Oh, your girl. Oh, you get bodied by a singing nigga.
Yeah.
Trigger fingers turn into
And the
Twitter fingers.
Twitter fingers.
Come on, man. Hey, that's one thing I say about Drake, man. Drake not only is a funny cat, man. Drake is funny. Drake remind me of LL, man. And that LL. Whenever LL whenever he's dissing like Ice T, ever he called like
Mhm.
Ice T is like his it's like old who told my old gym teacher he could rap or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like this Ice T when he's dissing Mo D, like LL was funny. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Drake reminds me of L. Not only is he like clever, but he's
Mhm.
funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh man. You know what I'm saying? But
No, I get it,
mhm. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, 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 man.
I just think, like, I think, one, as I was watching the video of, like, J. Cole talking about it to the crowd,
Mhm.
man, just watching grown men,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
just watching grown men in the crowd. "Oh, man. Oh, you pee. You pee. Oh, that's whack, bro." And I'm just sitting here like,
Bro, get healed, bro.
these are grown men
Grown man, man.
coming to watch another grown man
Right, exactly.
and then calling him soft.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm not into concerts. Like, my wife always like, and I was like, man, you can call it misogynist or whatever you want to call it.
Mhm,
I am not going to go watch a man. I have been to concerts, but like
mhm,
my sentiment is, yeah, I feel uncomfortable because
mhm.
me gonna go watch a man sing on the stage and me sitting here either singing along or being and dancing to his music and so forth. Yeah, I'm not pulling off my panties to throw to him. I'm not doing that, boss. I'm not doing that. And like that's where my mind goes.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, man, that's crazy. I listen to his music over the radio. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. That's funny, man.
yeah, no, but it was weird watching grown men say that. And I'm
Yeah,
just like, yo, you're a grown man watching another grown man.
yeah,
You can't say that.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, man, and it's crazy, man. People that's the part I ain't like, man. It's really like grown men talking about rap is a competitive sport, something like that. Something they say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I'm like, what? What are y'all talking about, man? Yeah, now y'all turning rap into a sport. Yo, but you know what it made me think of, man? A lot of these folks who had commentary, you know what I'm saying? Especially the folks who got platforms, you know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Like, I was like, man, a lot of y'all are I think I think battle rap has turned people's brains into mush. You know what I'm saying? They expect millionaires to have the same, you know, energy. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
As a battle rap stage, and that's not what this is. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
It's just a bunch of millionaires who are bored. They don't want to do albums anymore. Doing albums doesn't bring in money. It doesn't bring in revenue. It's just
yeah.
facts. You know what I'm saying? So, putting out little projects here and there, so that they can get on tour
Mhm.
and go make money that way. 'Cause that's how they make their money. You know what I'm saying? Um, you know, eh, they get in order to do that, you gotta manufacture. You gotta manufacture something. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, you gotta manufacture something. I
But
got this
also
album.
blame Lil Wayne, man,
What's that?
because everybody grew up on Lil Wayne at this point. So
Mhm.
so you're talking about, like, someone who, man, if you grow up on Lil Wayne, so you know he used a lot of double entendres,
Mhm.
triple entendres at time like, you know the punchlines
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
and all of that stuff, so you grew up on that, right?
mhm, mhm.
And then the violent connotations behind all of that sometimes and so forth, so everybody grew up on that, and, like, they expecting every line to sound like that or
Right.
sound and it's just like, "Come on, bro."
Yeah. Instead of it being like just, "Hey, man, I'm just putting these fat like cannabis and second round knockout." That's what
Yeah,
made
yeah,
it so good. Like, he just putting facts out like, "Hey, man, this how you moving, this how you know what I'm saying? Beans, when Beans talking, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, I mean, you go down the line, I mean, like, yeah, man, everybody and that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that, like second round, I mean, the the battle rap era just made people's brains in the mush, man. Oh well, you know what I'm saying? I always say that about fantasy football. You can't have a
Mhm.
football conversation without somebody bringing up fantasy. You know what I'm saying? Because it turned people's brains into mush. You know what I'm saying? They're not looking at what's actually happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They're not
Yeah,
present, right? They're not present.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, yeah, man, it's cool, it's entertaining. Again, I thought Drake was funny. I don't think that, you know what I'm saying? Again, like and also I look at it too, right? I would say I'm I'm a rap purist, you know what I'm saying? I care about
Yeah,
lyrics, you know what I mean? That's why I still
yeah,
listen to rap music. I love rap music. Um, you know, um, when I'm like, yeah, like they're going after each other, calling each other, trying to be the best. But really, if you want to be the best, then why aren't you going after Black Thought? Why aren't you going after
mm,
Royce? Why ain't you going after
mm,
why ain't you going after Rhapsody, who I think is one of the greatest
mm.
rappers? You know what I mean? Why aren't you going after these folks who can actually
Yeah,
test yourself?
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
and that's why I say it's like manufactured rap beef. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I think then they do this weird thing of like because then I started hearing like um thought crimes were saying this on there, what's the name? But like everybody was agreeing with them, just like, man, the old folk, man, they gotta stay out of it. The old rappers gotta stay out of it, blah blah blah. And like then they put this
Ageism.
age thing on it. And it was
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
like, why?
Why?
Like, why?
Why? Because the
Because
older rap.
if you can rap, you could rap.
Yeah, you can rap, man. That ain't Thomas. Big Daddy Kane did a rap the other like 2
Oh
weeks
man,
ago.
he killed it.
That joint was fire. He was
Boy,
killed it.
that oh man.
Like Cole is 40, about to be 40. What are y'all talking
Yeah,
about? Drake about
yeah,
to be
yeah.
like, what are y'all talking about? Where's this age thing come from? They
Man.
again, they think, God, man, I told somebody this one time, like Chuck D was right, man. Like the MTV generation, which is that the MTV generation pushed to make people who are 35 and 40 years old to always be 15.
Mm,
So you don't think that Drake is what when you talk about old rappers, do you
yeah,
understand where Drake and Cole and Kendrick sit? They sit
yeah.
like that. They're in the middle. That's why J. Cole made Middle Child.
Mhm,
They're in
mhm,
the middle of who you consider old and who you consider
mhm.
young, but they are becoming the older rappers.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
that they just did, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, just like
Kendrick's the you know, almost mid-30s.
yeah, he's like
You
in
know
the
what I'm
mid
saying? Like,
30s. Drake
yeah,
Drake is
he
almost
is
40.
not 20 years old no more.
No, he's not. I think Drake like 38, 39. I think he turned like 39. Future
Yeah,
about to be Future, I think is in his 40s. Like,
yeah, yeah,
Metro Boomin, I think he's like in his mid 30s or something like that. Like, these cats been around for a minute. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like, who do you think is old?
yeah,
Eh, but it is a ageism thing. You know what I mean? The
yeah,
ageism has
yeah.
always well, I won't say it always, but it has existed in rap. You know what I'm saying? To where, guys, we consider people old when they were like 30. I mean,
Man,
like Rock.
I just heard Redman, do something
Mm,
too, and, like,
yeah.
but Red can always spit though, and, like, not the kinda spit where he had to go write it down and then,
Mhm,
like, remember it, and,
mhm.
like, no, he can do, like can do off the straight top, like,
Yeah, yeah.
he was that kind of MC where,
Mhm,
you talking about the Snoops, the, Redman,
mhm.
um, man, who else? Like, pretty much, like, they could just rap on the spot, just like boom.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I
and
mean, you're talking like Black Thought, Cannabis,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, dude,
Yeah, Reese to
I
find out,
remember.
like, he did a whole
Yeah,
freestyle. Yeah,
Royce can just rap, but Royce the problem with Royce though, I like Royce. Royce is one of my favorite lyricists, to listen to. Royce, he has the problem that Eminem got where he tries to be too technical when he's
mhm,
rapping. You
mhm,
know what I mean? He try to, every syllable. Imma make sure every syllable in this joint
mhm.
rap. Imma make sure that the first bar matches rhymes with the last bar, and Imma do all that. That's my only critique of Royce. He tries to be way too technical.
Yeah, yeah,
But
just jujitsu.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Yeah, like,
yeah.
yeah,
It's
everything
yes.
can't be that, technical.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
again, it's beyond me about this rap beef or what they consider to beef. It's not even beef.
It's not
Like,
beef, man. It really isn't. Like, I don't know why people call it that. It really isn't.
beef
But
is when you can't sleep.
beef is when you can't
Beef
sleep. Yeah,
y'all
man.
y'all ain't learned nothing from Biggie. Y'all
Yeah, yeah,
this is not beef, okay?
yeah, man. Black Thought. I mean, and I'm like, Yasin Bey. He made a
Ah,
song called Beef too. Yeah.
ah, yeah,
Yeah, man. But this is not beef, man. This is just it's just it's catty. You know what I mean?
yeah,
It's yeah, it's catty. It's sassy.
yeah. It
It's sassy, but it's sassy, but I don't like saying
I'm not really gonna disagree.
yeah. I don't like saying that, but man, Bo is a sassy Bo. And I'm just like, I like, man, I listen to it. I'm just not gonna tune in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's kind of like J. Cole. J. Cole, like, look, I'm just not tuning into this, man. I ain't got time. Like I heard, I saw somebody said that J. Cole put out something. I'm like, I don't really care.
yeah,
It ain't it ain't gonna be worth my ears. I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. 'Cause
yeah, man.
it at the end of the day, like, it's like listening to, Dolph and, Black Youngster, right?
Mhm,
They going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? And you hear the bars and, like, that was beef
mhm.
because then it escalated.
Yeah. Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's beef.
yeah.
This is gonna escalate.
Yeah, it's not. But my thing is like too, um, I think that when you have like sometimes, for me, I don't I'm not good with the escalation. You know what I'm saying? I don't think
Right.
it should. Yeah, yeah. But
Yeah.
like people, it happens, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But like I like rap beefs when you can put out something and it's clever, it's lyrical, it's clever, you know what I'm saying? And again, it's memorable.
Mhm.
I'm saying, I ain't gonna remember none of these, man. I ain't gonna remember push up. I don't remember. None of that stuff is memorable, man. Yeah, maybe I might remember K Dot saying, fuck the big three. It's just big me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nigga, bang.
But
Like, okay. Like maybe, but that's the only line you remember. Like
yeah,
that is
I can't remember nothing else.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm like, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. But yeah, man. I'm like, but the
And
beat is hard. Though. The beat is hard.
it
The beat is Metro snapped on that joint.
yeah.
Metro snapped. 'Cause that beat is hard.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I remember. I remember the beat more than the lyrics.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, man, like, I fall on the line of, like, man, I listen to violent rap, I ain't gonna lie.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, if you ain't gonna get violent, please don't put it in your raps for me.
Mhm, mhm.
Like, like, I can't like, I couldn't listen to 6ix9ine ever, ever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you just wasn't believable from the beginning for me.
Yeah. Right. Right, right,
And,
right,
like,
right.
that's how I look at rap, like, I came from a little street life, like, and
Yeah.
so that's
You're
in me.
relating to your
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
at the end of the day,
Oh,
it's just like, I can't do it. I just
mhm.
can't do it, and if you are going to invite that kinda stuff, then yeah, like, okay, then, it is a portion of people that want to see it then escalate to that.
Right,
I
and
I
I think
am the Yeah, and I am the person that's just like, well, if that's what you're doing, then you should just go ahead and escalate it then.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like I'm saying like, "Oh, I want you to." I'm just saying like, "Well, what's the point? What's
Mhm,
the point of rapping and not using creative words
mhm.
in place of violent words?"
In place of violence, yeah. Like, yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's again, it's what got, a lot of them young rappers, killed. Pop
Mhm.
Pop Smoke,
Mhm. Yeah.
Young Dolph, I mean,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? It really is, the violence in their rhetoric, you know what I'm saying? But there are people who have content and again, they wanna do this violent thing, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
They like, "Oh," you know what I'm saying, "I'm a" I want there to be violence, I want there to be blood." I think that's what, like, Joe Budden said or something like that.
Oh,
But, like, for what? Like, these aren't the cats, like, Rick Ross was a whole correctional officer, "Sir?
man.
No, this is a bunch of millionaires, man. They're not gonna get violent, they're gonna call the police on you.
Yeah.
Get the
Yeah.
lawyers, okay? Let's just leave it to rap, just
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Just leave it rap, you know what I mean? Like, let's not talk about violence and talk about a combat sport and talk about
Yeah.
all this other stuff. Like, no, 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 no. No,
Yeah.
let's just leave it to lyrics. Leave it to lyrics,
Yeah.
man. We don't need none of that stuff.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
it just becomes utterly stupid at that
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah. It
Like
just becomes
you
mhm.
just you're gonna risk it all.
Yeah.
You just gonna turn into Black Rob.
Yeah, pretty much, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Turn, hit the lights, poke them
Yeah.
up. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, come on,
Yeah,
bro. You know what I'm
yeah, yeah.
saying? Like at some point in time, like people got to understand really the real difference of being in that scenario and the words that you are choosing.
Mhm,
That man, we say it just with politics, right? Man,
mhm,
words have actual meanings.
mhm.
They have actual meanings, man, and like what you say may have a outcome.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true, man. It is, man. I don't know. Again, um, it's all entertainment, man. Again, we're just exploiting, Americans' addiction to entertainment, and
Mhm.
that's really what it is, man. That's really what it is. And look, I love my entertainment too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm gonna save my entertainment football season. You
yeah.
know, save my addiction for football.
Well, I got one more, man. I got
Yeah.
one more. I definitely am in tune with this Mike Tyson and Paul fight, man. I'm
Oh
sorry.
Lord, nah, bro, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it, bro. Don't do it.
Bring back the glory days, Mike.
Oh my gosh. Man, Mike was like 60 something years old, man. Man, his punching
Mike,
power is gone. It is
Mike.
zapped.
I don't know, man. I see him hitting that bag, man.
Nah,
Nah,
his
nah,
his
man.
his punching power is gone. It's zapped. It's gone, man. It's gone, man. He don't even it's gone, man. It's gone.
I can't believe that because the way Grandpa hit Uncle
The
you know what
Uncle
I'm gonna
Jesse.
say, right? Uncle
Yeah,
Jesse. Nah,
yeah.
bro. Nah, bro. He was an old man. That looked like that hurt.
Well, you gotta remember, Grandpa. I mean, when that happened, he was like in his young 50s.
That is true. That is
Yeah.
true. He
What,
still
what,
was considered old. He was old. He had gray hairs. Look
yeah.
here. Nah, man. Nah, that looked like it hurt, bro.
Yeah,
So,
man.
I don't know. So I'm holding on the mic. I'm holding that mic got something left.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, man.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but I ain't going. Well, all right, man. Any last words, bro?
Oh man. Look, I'll walk it all back, man. Look, if you're gonna listen to rap, just listen to rap.
Mm,
And look, oh man, these black conservatives throughout history, they're
mm.
only trying to protect their own wealth and just hoping you're stupid enough when you don't have wealth, you will help them.
Gonna help him out. That's it. That's
That
it,
is
man.
it.
That is it,
That
man.
is that is it with them. And then, the general statement, man, everybody go check and see if you get uh your your registration to vote.
Yeah.
Make sure you're good because they are starting their kicking people off the ballots, and they're also talking about a law to make sure, like, if you don't use your voting privileges, that they're automatically going to kick you off.
Oh Lord, I got a thing in the
So
mail saying that it looks like you're not registered to vote. I said, what? I was like, "I just
Yeah,
voted."
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
oh, so I gotta check. I gotta make sure I can vote, here in
yep,
this, I think in June.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. We got a
but
special election coming up here.
yeah, I think we got one down here too.
Yeah,
So I'm like
so,
I'm like, "These folk going to work, Bo. They ain't
yeah,
going to man. I don't know if voting was not that important, why would they try to take it away from
yes, yes. And I don't understand how this is not um what is the voters law where they like tampering with votes and like I don't know how this ain't illegal.
Mhm, yeah.
Just kicking people just off the what's the name without any like real evidence
Mhm.
of why you're kicking them off.
Because of, dang, where my book at? Tyranny. Tyranny. They can do it
Mhm.
because people have willingly given them the power. Once these folks are in power, they can just do what they do what
Yeah.
they wanna do, right? Same thing with the Germans. People were probably asking
Mhm.
the same thing. You know what I mean? I don't understand how the Nazis can how can Hitler
Yeah.
do this? I
Yeah.
mean, you're giving them the power to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You just woke up and went to
You
work.
allow it. Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah, man. That's what people just willingly give them the power and then say the government don't work. The government don't work because the people don't. That's why.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
that's a good one. I like that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Yeah. Government
Government.
don't work because the people don't work.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it,
You
man. I'm
you
gonna
gotta
get that.
make the government work.
You gotta make the government work, man. You gotta make the government work. You gotta make the government efficient. You gotta make the government, whatever you think the government should be, you gotta get a group of people who agree with you and make the government what it is. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Right
Because we
now,
are the essentially the government. We are
yes,
the
we are the
essentially the government.
government.
Yes.
We are a representative republic. That means we vote for representation. And again, everybody always had these conversations like, why don't the Democrat Party do this? That's because we vote for representatives. The representative you vote for does not have to go along with the Democrat Party.
Mhm.
Look at Joe
Mhm.
Manchin, look at Kirsten Sinema
Mhm.
for perfect examples.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? They do not. Now, the Republican Party acts more like a parliamentarian party
Mhm.
where they all just go along and they just do the same thing. Now, you might have some dissent every once in a while, a Mitt Romney, you know, every once in a while. But at the end of the day, this is still a representative republic. So
Mhm.
you vote for a representative. You don't vote. We do not vote for a party. You vote for a person who just so happens to be in the party.
Mhm. Hmm.
So, yeah. So, yeah, man. And on that note, man, we out.
Yeah.
Hey.